Providing financial education may seem outside the scope of a student affairs professional, but the reality is finances have a massive impact on every area of a student's life. While you shouldn't be called upon to perform extensive financial planning, it's important to consider how finances influence students because it can affect their overall well-being. Taking a financial wellness lens means recognizing that there are many factors that influence financial decisions and reactions, and vice versa.
Financial wellness isn't about how much money you have, or not living paycheck to paycheck, or not being in debt. It's rather recognizing what's going on in your financial situation enough to understand, okay, this is where I am, I'm making terms with it, and I have coping mechanisms for some of those stressful situations and things like that.
While educating students on finances, one of the key pieces you'll have to address is the effect of race on a student's understanding of their own finances. Firstly, in how you should shape the conversation.
It's just as simple as assuming that someone, because they are low SES, right, or are coming in to talk to us because they're struggling to make ends meet, that they don't know how to budget, or they don't have financial education. That it's as simple as that. That is a microaggression, making an assumption about this group of people because of this fact.
In some cases, the student knows how to budget. They just don't have the income to cover their expenses, so never attempt to remove them from the decision-making process.
This is also kind of the way in which we've been noticing that money gets addressed, again, particularly with minority students with this assumption they just don't know any better, in part because SES is also tied so closely to race.
Racism and systemic barriers affect the financial decisions people make and the assumptions we make about them.
Are we having intentional conversations with people about that and bringing to the forefront the barriers that might exist that are making it more difficult, and it isn't that they are bad? Because often we associate I am bad with whatever my money situation is.
Our identities, cultural expectations, and experiences influence finances. Finances can influence self-perception, making finances an issue that can have a profound effect on mental health. One important thing to remember is that each culture or family places varied emphasis on different values. Acting against these values could seem like a financially sound decision, but could negatively impact a student's well-being.
I have a student who religion is such an important part. To be a good Christian, they need to give money back to their church. And if they're unable to give money to their church, they no longer feel like a good Christian. And so I bring this up in terms of thinking about what roles do identities play when we're thinking about the way in which we get these messages. So that's what those arrows are at the bottom. And that centerpiece is how we make decisions, the meaning that we make about stuff.
Making a frugal decision, such as cutting something out of a student's budget, can also affect their mental health, especially if that decision compromises the use of a coping mechanism. So while cutting out Netflix or a gym membership might help to save money, without a healthy substitution, it could have more of a detrimental impact.
We're not going to be the ones here to tell you if Netflix feels like the thing that's breaking your budget, cut Netflix out, because Netflix might be your stress reliever. It might be the one thing that's important to you.
Remember, financial wellness means something different to every student. So where you can best serve is helping them determine what that looks like for them. For more information on finances' impact on mental health, click subscribe today and never miss an episode.